Hey guys, this is Lisa with your weekly Lyrical Aspirations inspirational message. So, this week I'm going to touch on, and I say touch on because it's like a really big subject. So, this week I'm just going to touch on a little bit about compromised self love. So, first I'm going to talk about, where does our self love go? When does it become compromised? And then I'm going to give you guys two challenges that I believe that if you implement these and do these over the challenge time period that I give you guys, that you'll be able to start to rebuild that self love of yours that has become compromised. So, first and foremost, where does self love go? We're born with it. So, where does it go? How does it become compromised? Well, see, I'm a firm believer that what happens when we're children affects us throughout our entire life. So, as an example, if you grew up in a household that was abusive, doesn't even matter what kind of abuse, does not matter. Any type of abuse will compromise your self love. Or maybe you grew up in a home that never gave compliments, lots of demands, no compliments. Or maybe you grew up in a home that, there was kind of these backhanded comments, like if you don't get your big head out of the front of the TV, or you and them big old ears, I bet you can hear from here to everywhere. And although they may not have been said in a malicious, abusive way at the time, maybe they were just said out of fun or jest. Over time, when you hear something repeatedly said to you, you start to believe it. You start to say it to yourself. Those people don't even need to say it to you anymore. Now you're saying it to yourself. Every time you go buy a hat, somebody told you you had a big head. Every time you go buy a hat, you say, I don't want to buy the hat. My head's too big to wear a hat, whatever the case may be. But you've now adopted that negative statement that was said to you as your own. You have taken that repetitive statement that was said to you over and over again. Maybe somebody told you that you weren't smart enough. Somebody told you that you weren't worthy enough, you were not good enough, you weren't beautiful enough, whatever the case may be. Somebody gave you a negative statement on a repetitive way, or maybe you took that one statement and you repeated it to yourself. But either way, repetition is what caused the compromised self love to get locked in. So, just like a negative statement being repeated over and over again to you can cause your self love compromise to get locked in, the same thing is true on the reverse side. If you say something positive to yourself repetitively, at some point you're going to start to believe it. At some point, the positive statements are going to be able to unlock that compromised self-love that you locked in with the negative statements. So, the challenge that I have for you guys over the next 21 days, 21 days, because 21 days will break a habit. The habit you are trying to break is self-sabotage. So over the next 21 days or more, if you want to keep it going, is every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep, I just want you to look in the mirror and for 1 to 2 seconds, 1 to 2 seconds, y'all, that's not long. I just want you to say something positive to yourself. Give yourself a positive affirmation. Now, truth be told, I do not need you to believe that statement. See, back when somebody gave you a negative statement before this started that journey down the path of compromised self love, you didn't believe that statement at first either. It wasn't until it was repeated over and over again. So, morning and night, repeat to yourself a positive affirmation. And if you can't think of one, just look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you. Guys, that took like 2 seconds. So, morning and night, positive affirmations, repeating things to yourself about yourself in a positive way. The second thing I want you to do, and this is a we statement because I'm guilty of it too, but I need us when we are out here in the world and somebody gives us a compliment, I just need us to learn how to accept it. I got a story. I got two stories about this actually. So I have a friend, y'all. It really does not matter what kind of compliment I give them. I could tell them that their eyes are beautiful. I could tell them that their shoelaces are tied nice. It doesn't even matter. But whatever compliment I give them, they're going to immediately shoot it down to the ground and they're going to say, oh, stop. They're just going to reject my compliment. And you know why? Because they don't trust it. They don't believe it. That's why they shoot my compliment down. That's why you shoot compliments down because you don't believe it. You don't trust it. Another example, this lady at work, I said to her one day, hey, that shirt looks really nice on you. Y'all think she accepted my compliment? Child. Not only did she not accept my compliment, but she shot that sucker down to the ground with a whole dissertation about the history of the shirt. She was like, "Oh, girl, please, this shirt is 20 years old. I only paid $7 for this at Walmart 20 years ago. The only reason I wore it today is because I didn't want to iron it. Doesn't even match my shoes." Mm, yeah. What did the history of that shirt, how much it cost, how long ago she got it, whether it was ironed or whether it matched her shoes, what did that have to do with whether or not the shirt looked nice on her? She shot it down. She shot that compliment down like it was nothing. So over the next 21 days, when somebody gives you a compliment, I don't care if you believe it or not. I don't need you to believe it. I just want you to look back at them and say thank you. That's it. Just say thank you. Again, you don't have to believe the compliment. That doesn't matter at this point. What matters is you being able to accept an external compliment. Because the more that we can accept compliments from outside of ourselves, the closer we get to being able to accept and give ourselves compliments. So you may not believe that this is going to work. You may not believe it, but that's okay. You don't know until you try. So I challenge you to try these two things that I'm telling you to do for yourself. Don't do it for me. I'm working on my own self love over here. So don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Challenge yourself. At the end of 21 days, you're either going to be in a better place or you're going to be in the same place. It's not going to hurt you one way or the other by giving yourself a positive affirmation and accepting compliments. So at least try it. And at the end of this time period that you do this challenge, can I promise you that you're going to have all your self love back? No, no, no. I cannot. I don't know how deep your self love issues go. But what I can tell you is that you will have just a little bit more self love than you had when you first started. And that at some point, one of those positive statements that you have said to yourself, you might actually start believing. One of those compliments that you receive from somebody else, you might actually start believing. You don't know until you try. So don't doubt me. Prove me wrong. So go out here this next 21 days, 30 days, the rest of your life, however long you want to challenge yourself to do it, and make sure that that time period is positive and affirming. Make sure that this week is amazing. And please make sure that you come back and check me out next week. Start loving yourselves, you guys.